stupid piece of shit.
Hey John, what's your favorite movie?
Why, Rape Stove, of course.
Wave Stove, that's crazy! Wee wee wee.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Split Screen. I'm Ryan.
And I'm John.
He's John. He just told you. So why don't you believe him?
It really is my name.
I don't believe you.
You're right, my name's really Jim.
Oh,
I'm just
sorry.
masquerading.
Jim, like step into one?
Exactly.
Jim?
Like snap into
Macho Man Randy Savage? Oh yeah! He sounded kind of like the Kool-Aid Man, though, didn't he?
I thought he was the Kool-Aid Man.
No. But the Ultimate Warrior did wear a headband.
Deep thoughts. You have to really think about that one.
That's old school, early 90s wrestling, late 80s. Pretty tight. Back when it was a sport.
Yeah, it was real back then,
I said
too.
that with a straight face. Did you see that? That was pretty cool.
People still think it's real, I'm pretty sure.
They do, dude. It's the biggest beatdown. It's so ridiculous. Don't you like watch that every week?
No, that's UFC.
No. I get those confused sometimes. Sorry.
One's real, one's fake.
Oh yeah. Anyway, well, we got a couple things on here on the show for you today. Gonna debut a new trailer. We are. Even though it's out, but we're gonna debut.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Us.
It's a debut here on the Split Screen for the Lone Star. How about that?
Wow, you plugged the Lone Star.
What up?
Yeah.
What's up, Richard?
$5, Richard. That's how much that costs.
That's right, baby. Alright. Well, I think I'll save that trailer for later.
Okay, we'll save it for later.
So, well, we'll go ahead and get on to some COD MW 2 stuff. The new map pack Resurgence is coming out June 4th. Is that right? June 4th?
I believe it's June 4th.
Yeah, I think it's June 4th. It's going to be the same as the Stimulus package. It's going to have 2 rehash maps, Strike and Vacant, and 3 new maps. One's a trailer park, one is like an amusement park, and the other one is something. I don't know. But, bless you, John. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. An oil refinery. That's what it was. They're getting away from scenes that were actually in the game. You know, I don't remember them fighting in a carnival.
Well, maybe they should have. You know, the campaign, while it was neat, it wasn't all that engaging anyways. When it comes time for DLC, I don't care whether it's in the campaign or not. I just want some cool maps. And the more and more I play, and the more we play things like some of the stuff in the previous map pack, the first one, like Overgrown and Storm, it seems like a lot of people aren't really happy with a lot of those maps. Have you noticed that?
Maybe it's because they get played so much. I think that there definitely needs to be a better way for them to generate maps, like the random maps. I think there needs to be, some kind of algorithm, because you'll sit there all night and you won't play half the maps.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they choose which map you play, but for example, Rust is a horrible map, and I've only ever played it once.
Well, because it's a shitty map.
Yeah, it is a crappy map, but it's just that, I mean, how do they go about picking that thing? I swear that I play Overgrown almost all the time.
Yeah, and I can't say I play one more than the other, but there is times I notice that we're playing the same damn map over and over again.
Well, you notice your favorite maps. Like I like Afghan and Wasteland and Storm and Overgrown are some of my favorite maps. Some of the new maps, I really don't like Vacant, the whole little factory thing. That really wasn't one of my favorite maps.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna cry about it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Although there could be worse maps than Strike. I kind of liked Strike. It's the one with the Saddam statue or whatever in the courtyard.
Yeah, that one I kind of like because the idiots are running in the courtyard. You can get up top and snipe them. There's a couple of good choke points in there.
Yeah.
If you're playing with people that actually know what they're doing.
So, yeah, I don't know. You know this is going to happen, but it is interesting to note that, they weren't planning to release this DLC until, around Christmas time. I mean, it's going to be 2 weeks. When it gets released, it had been announced 2 weeks previously. That's kind of odd. That's a very short turnaround time. Usually, they'll announce that stuff like months in advance. But I think this does have something to do with all the turmoil over there.
Yeah, that would make sense because you're right. It usually does take they'll release it, the news release several months ahead of time saying, oh, we got a map pack and it's going to be this and this, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, map pack next week. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, it almost is. It's a week away from being, hey, you're getting this next week. That is kind of... Actually, no, it's not a week away. I'm sorry. It's like a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
It's like
well,
3.
we'll definitely get it. We'll play it, and hopefully I won't have nightmares about it.
Yeah, well, there's worse things to have nightmares about, John.
Underwater levels.
All right, so
moving on. Red Dead Redemption comes out on
I've
Tuesday.
Heard of that.
You have?
I have.
I'm glad you've heard of it, because if you haven't, you've been living in a cave on Mars with your ears covered with your hands and your head buried in the ground.
Very head in the sandish.
Yes, it's all over the place. Today, Spike was actually showing Wyatt Earp, and I believe it was even sponsored by Red Dead Redemption because they would show the commercial just about every single commercial break. There's a lot of hype about the game. Reviews are out. A lot of stuff's out about it. There's all this talk about, what do you need to know of the game? Here's the first 10 hours of gameplay. I'm excited about it. I'm definitely going to get it. I'm definitely going to play it, and I'm really hoping it's going to be, the next, game of the year type game.
Yeah, man. I have my expectations are so high for that game. I hope I need to bench them a little bit so I don't get disappointed.
Well,
not that they make bad games. It's just that thing looks so awesome, and it's a genre that isn't very popular nowadays.
No, it's not done at all.
You look at the Call of Duties, and take the World War II games, the original Call of Duties in general. Man, you had tons of games coming out at that time, and now the gig is do a modern, revamped version of it. There's no westerns that that's the last thing you think about. It either goes from one spectrum to the other. It's either like ridiculous like dragons and future stuff, or it's current modern stuff. There's like no gray area in there. I think there needs to be more games with gray area.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it just not because of the Western theme that interests me, the open range type things and the time period we like. I know you don't want to get your hopes up for it, but I want to have high hopes because I don't think the game's going to disappoint me. And if it does, it's going to be crushing and I'm going to cry. But if it's not, I'm going to be really, really happy, and I want to be really happy. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Oh man, it's so hard to follow up. I mean, they've done a ridiculous job marketing this thing. They putting out videos all over the time, all over the place, like videoettes. And it's not even like normal promo stuff. It's just how they detailing. They even got like a nice little voice actor guy to come in and, back in the old West, you did things like this. Things move differently.
There weren't a lot of women, so sometimes you had to resort to livestock. Wait, I don't think that was a video for Red Dead Redemption. Maybe it was.
That was a video that's in your DVD player at home. Better hide that from your wife.
But I'm excited about Red Dead Redemption. I'm going to get it. I'm going to play it.
Yeah, that's a launch title for me for sure. That's something I'm going to be completely horny over.
I'm not sure they're doing a midnight release of it anywhere.
Yeah, they are.
They are?
Yeah, GameStop.
GameStop?
Yeah, so go to GameStop, I guess. The all-evil GameStop. But I guess if you're going to get things day one, it doesn't really matter that they screw you out. Just don't trade it in the next day. How about that? Buy it there, but don't trade it in there. All right.
I'm going to go to the party.
No. The Lemon Party?
Yes.
Lemonparty.org. So, is that it?
That's all I have to say about Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, well, thanks, buddy.
Well, here you go.
Thanks, John! So, anyway, now we go on to more DLC news, that the new Mass Effect DLC called Overlord will be coming out in June. I'm not sure how this game would be holding up to DLC because it's such a It's such a not an odd game for DLC, but it's very story driven. And how are you going to insert things in the story that weren't actually there before?
Yeah, and I haven't even been able to keep up because I play Mass Effect 2 and I've beaten all the various difficulties, at least the ones that matter, and I still haven't finished the last DLC that came out.
You bought the Kasumi Lost Memory?
Yeah, I still haven't been able to get through that.
Man,
It takes a lot of time.
that's good. I mean, I don't want to buy DLC that just does the only thing it does is add a character and you get a mission. This one, I guess, is going to be a five levels or 5 missions, and then you get to use, if you've downloaded the Firewalker DLC that gives you the Hammerhead, the tank that they took out of the first one, or the hover tank, you can use that. But yeah, I'm excited, and that was a great game. 5 missions seems like it might be worth the purchase. There's no price yet, so when that comes up, we'll let you know. But definitely something to look out for. Something that we're excited here at the Splitscreen for. So that means you need to be excited here at the Splitscreen for.
I'm definitely a big Mass Effect fan. I mean, having played through 1, 2, and now 2, I'm looking forward to 3, and I'm definitely looking forward to any of the DLC. I just have to set aside time to finish the DLC. The game is just so involving, you can dump 50, 60, 70 hours into Mass Effect 2 just on trying to go through and get the achievements alone.
Man, you really can too, man. It'll grab you around the neck and won't let go.
Playing it on the hardest difficulty takes twice as long.
Yeah,
there are missions that you're just sitting there like, oh, got to change my strategy, going to try this, going to do this over again, and it's a totally different game when you're playing it on the hardest difficulty between like something like normal.
Yeah, and you got the perfect ending the first run too.
But I did it on normal.
Well, it doesn't matter. So did I, and I didn't get the perfect ending.
I didn't get the perfect ending on Super Duper Hardcore or whatever it was.
It doesn't matter. You already got the perfect ending.
Everyone was so happy.
Although you do need it for your save file.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. For Mass Effect 3, I want to have the good, perfect ending where everybody survives and stuff, so I'm going to have to go back and redo it on
Man, my people did not survive. I was very upset.
I didn't like some of my people.
Yeah, well, it was evident.
Moving on.
Them like shit.
Well, only a couple of them.
Oh.
I just didn't talk to them. They weren't interesting.
Oh.
I was only going after him for like
You went after
points.
Jack only because you thought it was a man.
That wasn't a man?
No, man. You get some splendid to do.
No. Yeah, the thing is that I had my people, so I had Miranda and stuff was my biotic. I tried to keep it pretty balanced. I wanted like someone who was tech. I was a soldier, so I had assault weapons, so I always had someone who's a biotic. And so it didn't make sense to waste a lot of time or play a lot of time with all the different biotics.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So who'd you bang in Mass Effect 2?
Miranda the first time, and then Tally on the second time.
Tally? You can bang Tally?
Yeah, you can.
Wow, how does that work?
It's kind of funny.
Does she have like a little thing down there, like a little bubble?
Well, I'm not entirely sure it's in a show, but it's funny because if you actually pursue that storyline, you go to the doctor, he'll approach you and say, hey, so-and-so is looking for antibiotics. So I guess you two are trying to... And he starts interrogating you, and he's just like... He's talking all this stuff. He's like, like, leave me alone. It was kind of really creepy, more than that doctor.
Looking for antibiotics? Like you're giving each other VD?
But it was definitely strange and somewhat humorous.
I didn't do it. That bitch got it from somebody else. It wasn't me. That bitch got it from Jacob. He's dirty.
The ship's doctor. Unappreciated character. If you go and talk to the ship's doctor in that game, you can actually make him sing and dance at some point.
Yeah, he said some funny things if you just spammed him a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So that's the character I did talk to a lot. But moving on, I like to find really important news, especially relating to games. So I found another one, just like last week, of a case where Modern Warfare 2 actually put somebody in the hospital.
OMG, dog.
And it's not really what you think. Essentially...
Hey, by the way, I can't see that because you didn't send me the link.
I know.
Dong
bag. The pictures aren't all that impressive anyways.
It's just a Mexican dude who looks like he just got cut by Rocky. It's like really egregious though. It looks ridiculous.
Well, that's because they put the iodine to cleanse the wound.
Monkey blood?
Yeah, so basically the guy, Xbox Live handle of Adam West 09, walked away with his first Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 battle scar. Quote, "I was just playing with friends when my mother asked me to get my daughter's PJs. I then went
Red
bam."
flag right there.
Yeah.
My mom asked me, like, she should have stopped having to ask you whenever A, you moved out, and B, you grew up. But nevertheless, she's asking you to do something, pick up your daughter's fucking clothes.
So, a real winner right there. But he got up quickly and apparently hit his head against his Mac because he got his hand or whatever tangled inside his Xbox Live headset cord. And he fell, which was sitting on a stereo and a few feet off the ground. So, quote, "I put my hand on my head and saw just 3 little dots of blood and didn't think it was serious," he continued. "As I was going to deliver the PJs, I felt warm liquid drip down my face. I rushed to the mirror and saw a huge gash above my eyebrow."
Whoa, he had a vagina on his face?
He wishes.
Oh.
The accident called for a quick trip to the hospital, so that's where the story becomes true, because he actually went to the hospital because of it.
Dude.
But it's still silly, yeah. He basically hurt himself by getting up, not taking care of his business at his mom's house.
Did his mom bring him sack lunch?
Hopefully she did. That's a good mom would do. Make you a sandwich.
Nice.
It's rough, you know. The guy spends all day, you know, playing Call of Duty. You know, he's serving his country online. He's fighting.
Serving my country online.
He's fighting the fictitious and digital Russian terrorist online
all the time, over and over
again. And you know, the guy, I think he needs a Purple Heart, a digital Purple Heart for that.
I heard you can give him a purple mushroom stamp. I didn't really understand what you meant by that when you said it, but okay.
I prefer not to, actually.
Oh. Alright.
Anyways, that's another pointless story about video game violence.
Sweet. Alright, I guess we'll load up this new trailer by the Gears of War gurus, Epic Games. This is going to be their follow-up to Gears of War whenever it's done, I guess. Gears of War 3, so let's check out Bulletstorm. If I could play it.
This is the first
That was awesome.
It's definitely over the top, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, you know, whenever I first heard about it, you know, you only heard about it because it got mentioned at the same time of Gears of War 3, and everybody just kind of like shoved it out of the way. Oh, Gears of War 3? Move out of the way, Bulletstorm. And I was kind of meh. But after seeing that gameplay trailer, you know, I mean, that looks like it might not be that cool, but it definitely is something way different. And I read online it was described as get the stupid mic sit right. It was described as an FPS meets Burnout, which is exactly to me what it looks like. It looks like it is just out of control, just all over the place. You saw like in the video, it had those kind of what would you call that?
The weapon combinations.
Well, not the well. I'll talk about that. But it had like, you know, the the special ways to kill people, like a challenge in Modern Warfare 2, it actually verbally shows that when it happens, like bing, 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 kind of just like a hit counter or something. I thought that was kind of cool. You know, it's a little bit arcadey to it. You know, kind of bringing that back a little bit. But yeah, like I guess that's got to be the gig, and I'm sure they didn't blow their load right there. You know. I'm sure there's way cooler weapons than just a couple of rifles. And
yeah, but still, the stuff they show, the ability to, you know, kick someone, hit him with an electric lasso, pull him back, and then blow him up with a shotgun into a cactus.
So ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
It's so over the top, but it's something that's fun because it's kind of like that, the kind of fun you get out of the BioShock series of being able to combine weapons and combine powers and even.
Yeah, what if they could do that with, like, you know, abilities and, you know, your environment? That'd be really cool if they could do that, you know, fluidly. And it doesn't hurt that they use my favorite Nine Inch Nails song in there, Wish.
You gotta have a rockin' soundtrack if you're gonna have an over-the-top game.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
You can rock out to it, you're blowing people up, you're getting eaten by a plant, shooting lots of really big guns.
And you blow some dude up with a chain bomb shooter or something.
I'm not even sure what any of that was, but
that's pretty sweet.
I'm hoping for lots of guns, lots of variety, lots of players online, and hopefully some type of campaign.
Alright, so now the bar is raised, dude. Dude, huge. You better deliver.
Don't disappoint me. Don't deliver a crappy campaign and a crappy online that's just like Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag. Give me something that I'm gonna like.
Really? As opposed to something you don't.
Well, a lot of the times we get stuff we don't like. You'll have a game. Yeah, Capcom does it all the time. But you'll have someone go out of their way to take the time to develop a game and deliver like subpar, buggy online content where people are shooting through crates and falling through walls and glitching around corners.
Well, yeah.
And the controls are screwed up.
That's a valid point. If Epic is doing it, please, for the love of God, have dedicated servers on this and Gears of War 3 because that is the most frustrating game. Oh my God! But we'll get into that, I'm sure, when it's Gears of War 3 gets a little closer. But do you want to say something about Reach, dude?
I want to say something about Reach, and it's Halo Reach.
Oh.
So the beta's been out now for a while. And you can actually get the beta if you have Halo 2 apparently or ODST. I have ODST, not all that great of a game, truthfully, but I used it to download the 1 gigabyte beta for Halo Reach, so I got to play with it. Of course, we all know there's no Master Chief in this. Yeah, play with it. Yeah, it's great. So, why do you want to play Halo Reach? What's new about it? Well, they have 4 new classes, kind of. And it's basically, when you pick the game, right now you can choose basically just 4 different classes. One is a kind of a jetpack trooper, where your special abilities, you have a jetpack. Yay.
Sweet.
Or you could be a scout, where your special abilities, you can run real fast.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay. Not really interesting, just being able to run fast. More importantly, the Guardian gives you this overshield type thing. I'm not even sure what it's called, but it basically makes you pretty invulnerable for a short period of time. And that's a class that I played quite a bit because I found that to be pretty powerful and pretty useful. If someone's running at you, just throw up overshield. Most people aren't even familiar with the mechanics of the game. Yeah. They sit there wasting their ammo at you while your buddies take them out.
Not the games we played because, I don't know, there's only a couple of maps out, but... Yeah. It's like, it wasn't really that fun because people who are hard up for this are going to be playing over and over like these people were. They know every single in and out of what the beta gives them. So it was like no fun at all because we were just getting owned.
Yeah, I played through it. I got good at one of the maps, the one when you're inside that building. And I'm good with the Stalker. That's the 4th class, and it's basically your abilities you can cloak. What I kind of don't get is... We already kind of had some of these abilities with the shields and the stealth, and Halo 3 has, you know, those things you pick up and then you deploy with a right or left bumper, and so we don't have that, and instead we just got classes. I prefer the ability just to be able to know where the thing was on the level and go pick it up and get stealth, instead of having to choose it up front. It's kind of neat. There's new guns, but assault rifle. feels like it's underpowered. There were too many times that I played that game, and me and another guy would run straight at each other, unload our assault rifles, and then melee each other at the same time and both kill each other. After doing that about 15 times, I realized that, you know what, it probably shouldn't be possible to both kill each other with a melee, and I think the assault rifle at a close range should be able to kill somebody in one clip, because it couldn't Halo 3.
Yeah, they really nerfed it down, and it is a beta, so they probably could. They're probably going to change that. They have to, because there's no way for that thing to be as nerfed as it is.
Yeah,
that's the fun part about it. I thought I liked
the assault rifle was my favorite weapon.
Dogfight using the assault rifle.
But now it's just silly because it always ends the same way. It's not enough to kill the opponent, and so it's always we shoot at each other, run at each other, and then melee, and usually both of you die. It's always a stalemate.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So you know what you're doing.
Halo is the king of the we both meleeed, we both die. Like at least in COD, you can't knife each other at the same time and die.
And the other part that kind of confused me were the controls. They changed the controls around. If you use the default controls, the melee button and the reload button are switched. And you can't actually set your own controls in the game, which is also annoying. But I found that if you change your controls to the recon mode, it's just like Halo 3. So that your reload button is right bumper and your melee is B. Because when I tried playing it with the default controls, I would come up to somebody, get ready to melee, and all of a sudden I just would deploy my super ability, or which was always, stealth or overshield, which I didn't necessarily want, and then I would die. So I really wasn't all impressed with it, and I'm not even sure I even want to buy the game at this point after playing through the beta.
Really? You're like that out on it?
I didn't, maybe it was the lack of maps and the limited online play, but I just kind of felt depressed when my assault rifle didn't work like I thought it would.
Wow, dude, that's kind of news, right there.
Yeah, maybe I'll GameFly it, but I don't think I'm going to be there, for the midnight release, buying it like the rest of the Halo fanboys.
Well, you heard it here first.
I spend almost all my time with these games, majority of our time playing online, and the online play just didn't really excite me.
I'll probably still get it. I mean, you'll have to go in there with understanding that it's not going to be like COD.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be COD, but we played Halo 3 so much. When I finally played Halo Reach, I expected so much from it, and it just didn't deliver.
Yeah, well, it's also beta. How many things have you baited before, though?
Quite a bit of stuff. I think I did the Halo. Was it Halo 3 as well? I don't think I did the Halo 3 beta, but
no, you definitely.
I've done other beta games besides that, mostly for PC.
Yeah, well, okay, so you got some experience, you know what's going on. So.
Yeah, I know that it's going to be buggy and things are going to happen and balance is going to be off, but in terms of, and the content's not all going to be there, but in terms of just, since it was so like Halo 3, I just expected it to be like Halo 3. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, probably.
I at least think it should be as good and especially better than the previous game, and I just didn't feel the online play was there. Maybe it'll totally drastically change in the next coming months for the fall release, and I won't be disappointed.
Well, I think that we are going to close the show with a healthy discussion of something EA is going to do. They, this week, announced that they will, starting with their new season of sports games, they are going to be doing a quote-unquote online pass for their sports games. This means, basically how this would work is you buy the game brand new and you get the normal package, or you get a code inside the game or inside the actual case that you present as a one-time use. That way you get access to all the online stuff, like online team play and stuff like that, tournaments. Now, they did this to prevent secondhand sales from, like, GameStop or something, used sales, which I guess is a good idea, but I don't think that should be taken out upon people who don't want to wait or want to wait. I don't know. I think it's just kind of shitty. I think it's more shitty for the fact that I don't think they're going to be the only company that does this.
Yeah, I think my fear. I mean, I don't play EA Sports games, a lot of them at least.
But
And
you do play one thing that this could adversely be used for and adversely affect, which is anything.
yeah, that's the problem.
Anything online. Anything online.
I think that they're setting a precedent here. Is like, oh, we want to charge extra for online play. And it's this attempt to maybe hurt your game flies and these secondhand sales. I mean, when I GameFly games, I like to also be able to experience the online. I don't want to have to pay 10 extra bucks just so I can experience the game online.
So if you did buy it after purchase, you'd have to spend $10. Pay $10 to get the online feature.
And the thing is that that's just giving it back to the consumer, because let's say the game is like, oh, it's $40 used, and you could sell it for $40. If you're going to have to pay $10 to play it online, you're not going to sell it for $40. You're going to have to pay $50 for it, because you're like, okay, I'm already going to have to. I want you to take $10 off of it because I'm going to have to pay, $10 to play it online. So I don't want to pay, this price for it.
Yeah, I wonder how like GameStop would do something that they'd set up a plan like that where they'd include it in there and they'd just take a cut. But they probably wouldn't do that because that's not very good business. But yeah, what I'm afraid of is that it's going to be bleeding over to other facets like Modern Warfare.
That's our biggest fear. It's one of the games we play the most. We play it online. We paid our $60-$70 for the game. I think we should be entitled for the online play, especially because it was, specified up front. Online multiplayer.
I know. If it says it on the box, it should fucking be in
we're
there.
We're already paying for our Xbox Live accounts. I understand that you guys want to make money, but in the case of Modern Warfare 2, you make billions of dollars. You can give us some servers to play on.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of the coming apocalypse. So I'm not sure what to do about that really, because I do play. I know a couple of guys that we play with. We play NHL 10 online, and they play that a lot. Now but that's usually a day one get for all of us, so that's not a big deal. But FIFA I really like, but I'm not always going to be able to get it day one, and the online stuff is real fun, but I'm not sure I want to frickin' pay for it.
Well, it's more cost effective too, or at least it was before this, to buy a used game. If I can buy it on Amazon for almost half the cost of what it is new, why not do that? Maybe it's a little bit scratched, maybe somebody touched it, but it's still okay. It's a game, but to have to pay just to be able to play it online, you don't even know whether you like the online play to begin with.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason that you buy a game used. If you don't like it, you're only out, half the money instead of all the money.
Yeah. Good point. All right. Well, I think that just about does it for us here. So.
Please don't charge us for online play.
Yeah, I'm charging you right now.
Please.
All right, guys, take it easy. You like games and I like games. Watch Split Screen.